Why is there a reluctance to actually have an honest look at what's causing that?
It's a great question, Mark. So I think with a lot of these things, certainly it's the excess deaths is probably likely multifactorial. So before, let's say, for example, the vaccines came into the equation in terms of the harms, which you've highlighted very consistently on this program, I would have said, okay, this is probably to a large degree being driven by the end result of lockdowns. You know, we know, as a cardiologist, I know how heart disease develops, how people can develop heart attacks quite quickly, how people can have sudden cardiac death linked to lifestyle factors, including poor diet and stress, right? And we know that people's diets got worse and people are under a lot of stress. But to answer your questions very specifically, in terms of things that aren't being looked at, so for example, could the vaccine be linked to these excess deaths? That's the question. I would say it's willful blindness by many people. And I would say, and this is through my own experience speaking to people, so what does that mean? People turning a blind eye in order to feel safe, to avoid conflict, to reduce anxiety, and to protect prestige. And many people, certainly vaccine injuries are a real thing. There's no doubt about it. The question is, what is the extent of those injuries and how does that balance against what the benefit of the vaccine is? And we haven't got that answer quite precisely yet, but we're getting there. And what I would say for me as a doctor, what really concerned me, and you mentioned it in the letter we wrote to President Biden and Boris Johnson and actually published in European Scientist, is very eminent doctors, very eminent scientists, Peter Doshi, Associate Editor of the BMJ, Robert Kaplan from Stanford, in one of their preprint publications, they were able to get access to new data from Pfizer and Moderna original trials on the vaccine. And what they found is shocking. As you said earlier, that in the trial itself, it appeared that one was more likely to suffer a serious adverse event from the vaccine, so disability, life-changing event, hospitalization, than they were to be hospitalized from COVID. And that was during the more lethal strain. Now, if this is true, and there's a good reason to suggest that it is, then it changes everything.
No, it does. And
did Pfizer know this? Did Moderna know this? Because in the history